Farmers Policy Perks are that little extra something you can get when you're a Farmers customer. So to tell you about them, we're adding a little extra something to this ad. A backup singer.
Ooh, singer.
When you have the Farmers Signal app with Crash Assist.
Crash Assist.
If you have an auto accident.
We can send help if you want it.
Wow, that sounds like a whole lot of something. Get a quote at farmers.com.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Not available in every state. Only available with select Farmers branded policies. Subject to terms and conditions. Underwritten by Farmers Truck or Fire Insurance Exchanges or affiliate.
New this week on Curiosity Stream, it's the larger-than-life NFL icon Joe Namath, who took the league by storm.
Broadway Joe. Sports Illustrated had me standing on Broadway in the jet uniform.
In Beyond the Spotlight. And underground tunnels, brilliant disguises, and air balloons? See daring breakouts from behind the Berlin Wall with never-before-seen archival footage in the Great Berlin Escapes. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are just $20. Visit curiositystream.com.
It's a Reaction Monday on Sports Radio 610. Brought to you by Coors Light. Here's In the Loop with Landry and Lopez.
In the Loop is next. I wonder what they're going to talk about. Carlos Correa talk. 4 hours. Just kidding.
Hey, you want a gold glove? Good for him.
No, I know. Anyway, those guys are up next. I'm sure they're going to talk about yesterday.
Those are guys right there. I love Vandy. I love John Harris. Good job on the call yesterday. Guy who belongs in the Ring of Honor. Guy I feel bad for. Whenever these losses happen, I'm not just saying this. I truly do feel bad for these
100%.
guys. They've been through the ups and downs, and what's happened in 2018, I think, is even on display more yesterday. From 2018 to now, I think that's the most, when you watch an NFL Sunday and you endure an NFL Sunday, and shout out to the loopholes if you want to get it off your chest, 713-572-4610. You look at the AFC right now, and there's just a lot of unpredictability. Some would say the Titans are the best team in the AFC right now. I get it, but there's not any team that looks unbeatable. Kansas City struggled yesterday with a backup quarterback. We know Buffalo lost to Jacksonville 9-6. There's just no team that is rising up and establishing themselves as the best. And you look at what Cal McNair inherited in 2018, and the core that he inherited, the core of players, the core of assets. Brian Gaine keeping the powder dry. Maybe not as aggressive as King Bill and Cal had liked beginning, and Jack when he ran Brian Gaine out 3 weeks after he got here. I don't care what he says. He had something to do with that. You look at where the Texans are right now, they should be in this cluster. We should be talking about the Houston Texans with Deshaun Watson, probably not making foolish trades like the Laramie Tunsil trade. And we should be sitting here saying, man, you know what? This AFC is unpredictable, but you know what? As long as you got Deshaun, as long as you got player whoever they decide to take in the draft, as long as it wasn't King Bill being allowed by Cal to run this into the ground, we're in the mix right now.
Right.
But
Look,
the only certainty, you said it best before the show, the only certainty in an uncertain league resides here in Houston.
Yeah. That's absolutely we talked about some of the crazy things that have happened. I mean, you're bad when in the most unpredictable season the NFL has ever seen, I think ever seen. We can talk about 1978 or something, but let's just put it this way. In one of the most unpredictable seasons the NFL has ever seen, you're predictable. That's all you need to know about this team. Yesterday, we talked about all the upsets from 7-point plus underdogs and stuff like that. On a day when the craziest upsets happened, you forced 5 turnovers and lose. You should have had an upset with. Well, I guess it was an upset because they were favored. Tyrod Taylor was supposed to be the savior. He's not. The Jets, Dolphins, and Jaguars are in your conference, and you have a worse record. I say that again. The Jets, Dolphins, and Jaguars are in your conference, and you have a worse record. And to your point, this is where it really starts to get even more frustrating. You should have a window of opportunity this year. No AFC team is just running away with it. The Chiefs look like a mess again yesterday. I know they won.
Terrible.
I know they won again, but come on. The Bills lost to the Jaguars.
They scored 6 points in.
But they're probably okay. They'll be the best. They'll be the best team in the thing. The Titans have the best record in the conference
without their best player,
and they don't have Derrick Henry. And so the window, you shut the window of opportunity on your own knuckles.
Yes.
Because in 2018, you should be right now in the same breath as the Bills and the Chiefs.
Yes.
And the Titans.
Yes.
And you're not.
Yes.
It was self-inflicted.
Yes. You went 11-5.
Yeah.
Brian Gaine went 11-5 1 year as GM. Maybe he wasn't as aggressive as you'd like. Maybe he had a bad draft.
Mm-hmm.
But every team has a bad draft every once in a while. And all of a sudden, after that, Jack Easterby comes. Brian Gaine's gone. You go all in with Bill O'Brien. And now all of a sudden, in a wide-open AFC where Kansas City isn't the dynasty we thought they'd be, a Buffalo team that you beat in a playoff game, you are at the very bottom and you're looking up at these teams. And
right.
it's one thing for, a team like Jacksonville or a team like Cleveland and Cleveland's coming off a win. I'm not trying to use I'm just saying, like, of all the teams that aren't in that pillow fight at the top of the AFC, you should, based on what Cal McNair inherited and when he took over this organization, you should be right in the mix, if not above it.
I mean, think about it. Let's put faces and names with it. If you found a way to just eliminate Jack Easterby when you fired
Brian Gaine,
Bill O'Brien, I'm saying, like,
yeah.
If you were able to, if that was never to happen, you'd have Will Fuller and DeAndre Hopkins and maybe J.J. Watt and obviously Deshaun Watson. You wouldn't take a back seat to anyone in 2021.
I think the biggest mistake was you go 11-5 and then you fire a general manager.
Yeah.
And I don't care what the reason was. I don't care if he couldn't get along with Bill O'Brien.
Mm-hmm.
You brought in Jack Easterby, and then randomly 3 weeks later he's gone. And now all of a sudden this is where you're at. It was just a reminder yesterday.
Yeah.
It was just a reminder yesterday of where you were. We'll hear from David Culley, by the way. Texans on a bye now in 10 minutes, 713-572-4610. But I got to tell you, I never thought I would be saying this, but they need to free Davis Mills.
Mm-hmm.
Davis Mills needs to be the starting quarterback of this team moving forward. And
100%.
Tyrod Taylor needs to be on the sidelines. Yesterday was that was as bad of a performance as we've seen from Davis Mills. And if you go back to the final drive of the second half and the first two drives of the first half and the first two drives of the second, that was as bad of a stretch as we've ever seen. As we've ever seen from a quarterback, and we've watched some crappy ones.
Sports Radio 610, Houston Texans breaking news.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. Brooks Cabana is reporting. David Culley has said that he will start.
Davis Mills is starting? All right, there you go. Good choice, David. That's what I'm talking about. That's the stuff I'm talking about. Yes. Wait, what?
Tyrod Taylor will start.
For what?
In 2 weeks.
For what?
Against the Tennessee
Why?
Titans. Well, we're going to hear from David Culley.
What?
We're going to hear from David Culley.
Why?
In about 15 minutes.
For what?
You're preaching to the choir, man. There is no reason to start Tyrod Taylor right now. There is no reason to start Tyrod Taylor right now. You're going nowhere. It sucks for Tyrod Taylor, but you know what? It
wouldn't matter at this point, man. The way he looked yesterday.
Yeah, that's true.
Your Honor.
Yes.
May I present some evidence to the courtroom, please?
Okay.
I present Exhibit A. End of the first half yesterday. Tyrod Taylor rolling out, cannot even throw the ball away.
Second down and 18. Houston from the Texans 18. Taylor in the gun. Here's the snap. He's in pressure trouble again. Flag down. Tyrod flips the ball, and he threw a pick. He threw a pick.
He's going to give it to him.
They're going to give him the pick. Taylor didn't throw it out of bounds all the way.
I didn't give him anything.
He didn't give him a dang thing.
Exhibit 2.
Mm-hmm. Say B.
B.
Yeah.
Exhibit B. The very next drive. Start of the second half. Adjustments made. Tyrod Taylor. Again.
Here's the snap. Here's pressure. Taylor escapes it. Throws over the middle. It's another pick. Brought down at the 48-yard line by Amendola. Justin Coleman with the third interception of the day for the Dolphins.
Well, what is the payoff? This is one of your favorite words. What is the payoff for starting Tyrod Taylor?
There is none. Exhibit C.
Exhibit C.
This was early in the game.
Mm-hmm.
You have a chance to take the lead early. You forced a turnover. It's 3rd and 1. You're already in scoring territory. Here's your starting quarterback for the Houston Texans.
Taylor changing the play. Here's the snap. Tyrod, he's got pressure. He fires downfield, and it's picked off in the end zone by Holland. Taylor forced it. Holland got it. And the Dolphins end the Texans' threat with a pick in the end zone. The first interception Taylor has thrown against Miami ever in his 7th start against the Dolphins.
Wait, there's more.
There was 3. You sprinkle in missing Danny Amendola down the sidelines. You sprinkle in the fact that Tyrod Taylor's in his 30s and Davis Mills is in his first year. I ask again, why is Tyrod Taylor going to be the starter for the Texans? What? Even if he is better than Davis Mills, which yesterday he wasn't, what is the reasoning for Tyrod Taylor being out there, Coach? I don't get it.
You know, I asked you a second ago, what's the payoff? Let me ask you this, because I don't have an answer to this. What does it do? Like starting him, does it make you more competitive? I mean, no, maybe slightly, but you're 1-8, you're not going anywhere. Does it affect the culture? No. I mean, that culture is off the rails right now, no matter what they might tell you. Does it give you a better look at Davis Mills? Absolutely not. Davis Mills is on the. What is it? Not only what does it do? What is it like accomplish for this team? Starting Tyrod Taylor.
You're asking me?
Yeah.
What the hell you want me to say?
Figgy, you got any ideas? He doesn't have an answer. What does it do?
I have no idea.
What does it do?
I have no idea. I don't know. I don't get it.
He could. I don't know. You'd have to ask him. I have no clue.
Why are you saying this now, too? Like, why couldn't you wait till after the bye week?
That's a great point.
Because David Culley yesterday said we're going to wait for the bye week. We're going to evaluate it.
Yeah.
Okay, was it that quick? Was it that obvious? These coaches all the time, whenever you watch it, you'll hear like the blowhards say, well, I got to watch the tape.
Yeah.
I got to watch the tape. And I get it. Sometimes you do. Did they just cram that tape and realize that Tyrod Taylor is worth leaving in there?
Yeah.
What, did that evaluation just get cut in half? Was it a no-brainer?
Was it just bad breaks?
Was it a Hell no. You see that interception at the end of the first half?
Yes, I did.
One of the goofiest things I've seen in a long time.
713-572-4610. What does it do? I'm looking for an answer. It gives us the best chance to win. You don't want the best chance to win, right now. We're being honest. I mean, you don't want that. And does it really? At least with Davis Mills, you knew they were going to protect him and give him easy throws and stuff.
At least he was playing good teams.
And he's young.
He was also playing good defenses.
You're right.
Davis Mills, Carolina was one of the top. I think they were the top defense when he faced them. He went in against Cleveland and they scored that touchdown. They faced Buffalo. They faced Indianapolis. Like, Davis Mills was at least the Rams. Like, Davis Mills was at least facing good defenses. Tyrod Taylor went against one of the worst defenses in the NFL yesterday. He looked worse than Davis Mills ever did. 713-572-4610 to get in. Tony, you're on In the Loop. Go ahead.
You know what? I'm with Figgy. What the hell difference do it make who they trot out there? Personally, me and you and everybody at 610 Radio can go out there and...
Tony, you can't even see over the center. Let's not get dramatic now. Now we're just getting out of control.
But wait a minute. That's the point I'm making. Apparently, neither can none of them quarterbacks that they paying millions of dollars either. Okay, so what difference does it make? Hell, I don't even understand. I was so damn disgusted yesterday. It was just ridiculous. That's the worst. Oh, my God. That's the worst I've ever seen. I've seen better with my grandson in middle school. This was terrible. And do you know what? Not trying to pull a race card or nothing, but I was at a friend's house, and he said, don't Houston Texans have another black quarterback? And I say, yeah.
So he was talking about Deshaun.
Yeah.
Race car!
Deshaun. Okay. That's Tony right there.
Tony's disgusted. That means something.
Yeah, that means something. He's disgusted. But the good news is the Titans, the old Oilers, are coming to town.
Jeffrey Simmons.
One of the 5 best players in the NFL right now, maybe.
What's that? What are the interior linemen going to do against him? McCray.
Let's hear from David Culley. David Culley made it official.
Explain himself.
Tyrod Taylor will be the starting quarterback for the Houston Texans. We'll hear from David Culley on Reaction Monday, presented by Coors Light next.
Farmers Policy Perks are that little extra something you can get when you're a Farmers customer. So to tell you about them, we're adding a little extra something to this ad, smooth saxophone riffs. When you have a farmer's home policy with guaranteed replacement cost, if your home gets destroyed, we'll pay to rebuild it regardless of your limits. Dig it. It's a whole lot of something. Get a quote at farmers.com.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Optional coverage not available in every state. Only available with select farmers branded policies subject to terms and conditions underwritten by Farmers Truck or Fire Insurance Exchanges or affiliate.
Hey, nice party.
Yeah? What's new with you?
Did you know blue whales in Hawaii can be heard off the coast of California?
What?
And time travel to the future may actually be possible.
How is that?
I discovered it on CuriosityStream.
I'm listening.
You can stream thousands of shows on nature, history, science, and so much more.
Cool.
And at $1.67 a month, it's the best deal in streaming.
Now I want to go back in time. Sign up for that deal.
Sign up now at CuriosityStream.com.
CuriosityStream.com.
That's it, CuriosityStream.com.
This month, on the 11th, Pineapple Street Studios presents The Beige Room, a 3-part series about a notorious self-help seminar. Host and filmmaker Kelly Loudenberg asks why millions of people are flocking to spend their weekends in beige hotel ballrooms, divulging their deepest secrets with hundreds of strangers. Supporters say that what takes years of therapy to do, this program can do in a weekend. But how? And what are the consequences? That's this month on the 11th. Just search for the 11th now, wherever you get your podcasts.
It's a Reaction Monday on Sports Radio 610. Brought to you by Coors Light. Here's In the Loop with Landry and Lopez.
I said the old Oilers were coming to town. It's in Tennessee.
Yeah.
What's that line going to be?
Ooh.
You look at what Tennessee has done. They've beaten.
Defense alone, even though there's no Derrick Henry, defense alone is going to make it 14.5.
Beat KC, Buffalo, Rams. They beat Indy.
Yeah.
It's going to be a toughie.
At least 14.5. That's without Derrick Henry. Yeah.
Let's hear from David Culley. Tyrod Taylor going to be the starter against the old Oilers 2 Sundays from now. Texans getting a much-needed break. Wonder how they're going to spin that break. Here's David Culley, head coach of your Houston Texans, at the podium live right here on Reaction Monday.
Hey, listen, all I want to know is this. What happened to all the males that used to be here? They scared or something? Huh? Girls only today? I tell you what, listen, I'm going to be on my best behavior today. Yeah.
Now that you've watched the tape, what do you take away from yesterday's game?
Well, we got no chance to win a football game. It doesn't matter who you play when you turn the ball over 4 times. It doesn't matter if you get 5 turnovers. It doesn't matter. It's a formula that's been in this league, in all leagues, that when you play that way, you have no chance to win.
I know you said those turnovers are uncharacteristic of how Tyrod usually plays. Now that you've watched the film, what did you see for the reason for those?
I mean, we could sit here and give him an excuse that he hadn't played in 6 weeks, but he's been around, he's practiced, he's a veteran. We knew the situation going in. He knew the situation going in. He just didn't play very well. Uncharacteristically of him, he didn't play very well. I know he hasn't had in his career in any game where he's thrown 3 interceptions or had that kind of football game.
So you didn't expect at all that there would be rust because he's been around?
I did not expect what we got yesterday out of him, no.
So do you expect, after yesterday's performance, do you expect him to be much better the next time?
I expect him to be much, much better. You know, I expect him to be the same Tyrod that he's been through his career here.
Did y'all have to talk about it?
We had to talk about it. Basically, I had to talk about it just to keep him encouraged that, look, you know, you haven't gone through this. You know, this is the first time you've gone through this. You know, he felt like, you know, going into that game that he knew that if he played well, we'd have a chance to win the game. And he didn't. And I just wanted to ensure him that next time when we go to Tennessee, that it's going to be better. And he's going to be better, and we're going to have a chance to win if he plays like he should.
What's going to be the message to Tyrod?
Will Larry and Tunsil be available against the Titans?
I'm sorry.
I was going to say,
will Larry and Tunsil be available for the Titans?
We'll wait and see. We're not sure yet.
Will he begin practicing this week?
We hope so.
I was going to say, what's your message to Tyrod and the rest of the players now heading into the Lions?
Well, listen, you know that we practice against turnovers, we practice against penalties, we practice against those things. We're going to continue to do that. Unfortunately, we got to do a much better job of doing that because it didn't happen. It didn't happen to someone that it's never happened to before. Unfortunately for us, that guy handles the ball 99% of the time on offense, and when he's not doing the right thing with the ball, it's tough on us to be successful.
What did you think of Neville Hewitt and his performance yesterday?
I thought Neville and that entire defense played really good yesterday. I thought they played with a lot of energy. I thought they were all around that football all day. We had the one long drive that they had, but that drive came off of a turnover where we should have had points ourselves. But I thought for the most part they played well enough for us to win a football game.
As you enter the bye, can you look back and reflect on this first part of the season and maybe what went wrong? Are there things you like about the team, kind of where you're at this point?
I like the fact that this team will not quit. I like that this team will always play hard. I'm frustrated that this team doesn't play as consistent as we need them to play to have success and win football games. That's on us as coaches. We haven't done as good a job as we need to do that. And during this bye week, we're going to assess everything and make sure that we can find things that to help us to eliminate those things that are keeping us from being consistent offensively, defensively, and special teams to help us win football games. And we know what they are. We know the process, Krista. We just got to keep coaching it, and we're going to keep doing that.
When you only have one win when you enter the bye, is it the thing where you kind of evaluate everything and see if there's any changes you need to make after this week?
You evaluate everything. I evaluate what I'm doing. I evaluate the message that I'm giving to them. I know the message I'm giving to them is the right message. Am I giving it to them the right way? What can I do to maybe give it to them to the point to where they really, really, truly understand exactly what it means? But after 9 ball games now, they know. They know. And now there's an accountability and responsibility on all of us as coaches and them as players, to get this right.
Yesterday, you talked about looking at everything, and one of the questions was asked about whether Tyrod would start after the bye. Do you expect him to start?
Tyrod will start. Thank you.
All right, there we go. Christy Reek and Sarah Barship. Where was McClain at, by the way? Oh, he's
I guess flying back from Miami, yeah.
Is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
I made it back. A little hustle, John. Come on, man.
McClain going to join us tomorrow at 10:40. I need to do another
I'm not a liar.
I have to do another wellness check, I guess. Keep having to do that for my mans.
John McClain of the Houston Chronicle.
Yep, that guy. Tyrod Taylor will start.
Yeah, that's weird. The other weird thing is, how can you, if you're David Coley, how can you say that the message that I'm giving them, I know it's right, I might not just be delivering it the right way? How can you like with what David Coley has looked like as a head coach, and with, I'm not trying to be trite, I'm not trying to be a smartass, but with how this team looks, and they're not good, they're not talented, so I'm not trying to say that like they should have like 5 wins or something like that, but with how David Coley has handled himself and what he can control as a head coach, how he has done that, how can he be so certain that the message that he's giving is right? It might not be delivered the right way. Because I don't think you can deliver a message. Like if you're a head coach and you're calling timeouts from the 3-yard line to save a yard, or you're declining penalties to punt, or you're doing the decisions he's doing, maybe you just aren't capable of giving the message because your actions don't warrant respect through your dialogue.
Look, there's a certain factor here of what do you expect them to say, but then sometimes you even have to avoid that. Like I don't expect them to say anything other than that. I know it sounds weird.
Well, how can you?
I really do.
I do expect him to say something different, John, because I'm not sitting here saying that. I'm not criticizing him for saying we got to be better. I'm not sitting here criticizing him for saying I believe in the guys. He just said that his message is the right message. How do you know? Maybe it's not. Like I just don't know how someone with what we've seen from David Coley and the body of work he's put out 9 weeks into the 2021 season, I don't know that he is right, that his message is the right message.
No, I get it.
I think that's arrogant. I think that's arrogant to say.
I'm not saying you're wrong. That's a fine opinion. I'm saying I understand that sometimes, what do you expect him to say? He's going to say the message is right. I'm just delivering wrong. He's going to put it on himself. I get that. And, falling on the sword. My bigger problem right now with David Culley is he's just completely in over his head, and he's the only one that doesn't seem to recognize it. That's a problem. I guarantee you Easterby and Caserio recognize what's going on. How can you not? A team that just commits penalties like crazy, timeouts, going for it from the 2-yard line when you need 13 points, whatever the number of 11 points, whatever it was. And no, he's just in over his head.
I think it's just proportional. I think David Culley probably had as much to do with Andy Reid's success as Jack Easterby had to do with the Patriots. And I actually think it's probably less with Easterby, but I think it's just kind of proportional at the very top to what goes on the field with Culley.
No,
713-572-4610 to get in. Andy, you're on Reaction Monday presented by Coors Light. Go ahead.
Okay, look, I can't listen to him no more. I know you guys have to play what he says, but everybody in that organization, except for Nick, needs to go bye-bye. They need to all be fired. And until that happens, it ain't going to get no better. There's no way Taylor should be on the field. And to be honest with you, when he was cleared to be able to play again, to be healthy, Nick should have got on the phone and tried to see if any contender wanted a good backup. Because I can guarantee you Taylor's probably a better backup than any of the contenders have right now. I would have traded his butt before he got back on the field. Now he gets back out there and look how bad he looks. And if you think about it, that's the worst defense when they played a team. And look how bad he was. And everybody wants to dip on Mills. Mills played 9 college football games and has started 5 games in the NFL. How many games has Taylor played? I mean, he's a foot out of bounds. All he has to do is throw the ball out of bounds. My goodness.
I got you, man.
It's horrific.
I look, and that goes back to my point. What does it do?
That guy sounded sick.
I like that guy. What does it do to start, and what does it accomplish?
Nothing. Coming up, someone on the Texans took the blame, and I got to tell him to slow his roll a little bit. You're the last guy that needs to be taking blame around here. Plus, Dusty Baker, he's going to be back with the Astros. Carlos Correa, and hits are lit next.
Yeah, that's cool.
Farmers Policy Perks are that little extra something you can get when you're a Farmers customer. So to tell you about them, we're adding a little extra something to this ad. Another me. And when you have multiple Farmers policies, you could save up to 45% on your auto insurance with the Auto Multi-Policy Discount. What's going on with our voice? I thought I'd add some drama. Well, isn't that something? Get a quote at farmers.com.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Not available in every state. Only available with select Farmers branded policies. Subject to terms and conditions. Underwritten by Farmers Truck or Fire Insurance Exchanges, Farmers New World Life Insurance Company or affiliate.
New this week on Curiosity Stream, it's the larger-than-life NFL icon Joe Namath, who took the league by storm.
Broadway Joe. Sports Illustrated had me standing on Broadway in the jet uniform.
In Beyond the Spotlight. And underground tunnels, brilliant disguises, and air balloons? See daring breakouts from behind the Berlin Wall with never-before-seen archival footage in the Great Berlin Escapes. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are just $20. Visit curiositystream.com.
Up to 30% of U.S. military members and veterans are battling PTSD, even those who weren't injured or in combat. If you're one of the many, you should know that you don't have to suffer. Treatment for PTSD is available. If you suffer from PTSD-related depression and anxiety, you're not alone. There are so many veterans and current enlisted just like you. You don't have to suffer. Find the help and resources you need and deserve at connectingvets.com.
Playing all the hits. These are the hot stories of the day. Brought to you by workformetro.org. You're listening to In the Loop with Houston's sports leader, Sports Radio 610.
David Culley insists that his message is the right one. It might not be being delivered correctly. I think there's 2 layers to what he just said. It is Reaction Monday presented by Coors Light, Landry Locker, John Lopez. Your chance to see the Cougs coming off yet another win live at TDECU Stadium coming up in 15 minutes. So be listening around 15 minutes, and we got you covered. The talent is such to where even if the message was being delivered correctly, I don't think it would lead to wins and losses. That's point number 1. Point number 2, even if the message was being delivered correctly, with how David Culley has looked when it comes to in-game decision-making and in-game coaching, I don't think you can take his message serious.
Right.
So I don't know that the message really matters. Like, he could be like just first of all, the message he gives might be from above him. So he has to say that it's the right message. But I don't think the message matters when you have the lack of talent that this roster has and the lack of quality head coaching on display every Sunday.
I think, look, I just said, and I believe this, what do you expect him to say? You have a difference of opinion, that's fine. Those are two different opinions on the same thing. I think the bigger story for me is that when things are this bad and he's in so over his head, and from the top down, it goes for Easterby and Caserio as well. They talk about things that you can't really define. Well, the message had nothing to do with you losing yesterday. It wasn't because of the message, as if, Newt Rockney would have made a difference, because of with some fire and brimstone speech. No. And they talk about culture. That's the other thing. They're really good at talking about things and explaining things off with reasons that you can't define, you can't see. It wasn't about the message. It was about the penalties your team took. Was that because of a message in practice? I think it's just because you didn't coach them up well enough. Maybe message is part of that. I don't know. It was because of your own decisions, that you made. He is the king of the timeout on a late play clock when really it doesn't matter at all.
No, he reminds me a lot. He reminds me of my near 6-year college career, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the problem is that I don't have a limit in the amount of times I can do this. The bathroom break on test day.
Mm-hmm.
So the test comes and it's push or shove. You got to figure it out. Teacher, can I go to the bathroom? And I'm shuffling. I'm either studying last second or I'm trying to figure out the answers. I'm trying to figure something out. David Coley, in this situation with his job, he's basically the guy. Only problem is you only have a certain amount of bathroom breaks. You only have a certain amount of time that you can kill. He is the king of the bathroom break on test day.
Right. And so he talks about we're building a culture. Well, that's indefinable, as I just mentioned, and you don't get the benefit of the doubt at this point. Well, it's the messaging. Maybe I'm just delivering it wrong. Again, indefinable, and you don't get the benefit of the doubt on this.
Yeah, and I don't think it's as simple as wins and losses. I think it can help, but I don't think it's as simple as wins and losses. I think you can be 1-8 in developing a culture. I think you can do that. I think Detroit is developing a culture. I think Jacksonville is doing some good things.
Mm-hmm.
But the evidence is to the contrary that you're doing that.
Yeah.
So it's just a bunch of hot air, and it just keeps coming and coming
exactly
and
right.
coming. 713-572-4610. The Texans' hot air is like the Energizer Bunny. Is he still around?
Oh, yeah. They're making a comeback. Even more commercials.
That's what it's like. It just keeps going and going and going and
But they're building a culture. Prove it.
Going. 713-572-4610. George, you're on In the Loop. Go ahead.
Hey, hello, guys.
Hey.
Hey, man. Hey, so anyway, I was listening to the David Coley's press conference, and he told the lady that he learned a long time ago that if the team turns the ball over 4 times or 5,
I know where this is.
They always lose. So Miami turns the ball over 4 times and they win. So what the hell?
5.
I mean,
Five. No, they won the turnover battle. They actually won the turnover battle.
I know, man, but he keeps doing this, and even people like me that don't make a lot of sense. A lot of times when I call, what he says it's like John McClane, with his predictions.
There you go. See,
and by the way, by the way, TCU beat the crap out of Baylor. I'm out.
Yeah, there we go. Look at George. Going for it. No, we were talking about that.
George, you made perfect sense. That's the whole thing. Like, when you turn it over 4 times,
you
don't win. They did 5!
And they won.
You won the turnover battle.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Can't expect to win when you turn it over four times.
And that's what he said at half.
Unless you're Miami.
Bro, it's like he's been trained and programmed to just say turnovers. At halftime, he literally watched that first half and said with a straight face to the sideline reporter that he liked everything that happened except the turnovers. What the are you watching? What in the hell are you watching?
You, man.
Look, you won the turnover battle.
We looked at
It's
each other.
basically like you didn't turn the ball over and they turned it over once. You won the turnover battle, bud.
Yeah.
You won.
We were listening to him, and we just looked at each other. He goes, well, you can't expect to win if you turn the ball over that many times. Really? Because your opponent did more.
I would go into every game that if you tell me we're going to turn over 4 and they 5, I'll take it every time.
I'm telling
What's
you.
he talking about? Kevin, save me. Bring some sanity to Reaction Monday, please.
Hey.
What's up?
Kevin?
What's up, Kevin?
Hey, guys. Hey, I was just going to say, one of the callers said, get rid of everybody except for Nick. But, and I know you guys are doing what you have to do, but, Nick is the one who hired our coach. And I think there's a reason why he wasn't looked at as a viable coach for any other job.
Yeah, I'm with you, Nick. Kevin, my whole thing was this. If Nick Caserio has a plan, and I'm not saying this is the wrong plan, if his plan, and he can't say it publicly, is to suck as much as possible, then he hired the right guy.
Exactly. And I think it was, and I think it's to distract us from the real problems that they have, and just kind of, keep people from pointing the finger in the direction they don't want it pointed, which is at the general manager and the owner.
You are
it's kind of
100% right. You are 100% right. I was of the opinion that Culley would be here a couple of years, and then they'd move on once they get some draft picks under their belt, et cetera, et cetera. I'm getting more and more convinced that this is a brilliant stroke by Jack Easterby and Nick Caserio. Like, hey, we got our Folly.
Yeah.
We got our fall guy here. Just let him. Landry, I think they're letting him twist in the wind on all the in-game stuff. When the season started, I thought they're not going to let David Culley make all these big decisions. Nick Caserio is probably going to be telling him in his ear. That was just my opinion. I don't think he's saying anything. He's like, dude, let him dig his own hole. Let him just dig that hole.
Come on, man.
They're letting him twist in the who in that building. I mean, Nick Caserio has worked side by side with Bill Belichick. Would call the timeouts that they called. Would make the decisions that they made in game. Would look completely lost on fake punts when you're winning a game and all these. That's not Nick Caserio. They're like, dude, just let him go. Let him go.
I think let him call the timeout. Let him run the show.
Let him.
As confused as we sound right now, like I do feel like we've kind of diagnosed it. I just think in Reaction Monday it's kind of blind. Like they haven't even started their process.
Right.
Like there is nothing like this. They're not building any culture. There's not like as soon as they get players in and they get the right coach, it's going to start over. But this notion that like something they're going to be able to take something from 2021 or 2022 if Culley's here and like have it with them 4 years from now when maybe they're hopefully competing is a lie. Mm-hmm. Like it's not going to happen. Like you're not learning anything from David Culley. Like you have some teachers, and I keep up with most of my teachers.
Yeah.
And there are some teachers that were ass kickers.
Mm-hmm.
Ass kickers. But you know what? They made you better. They
Yeah.
made you a better student. They made you like they made you better, and you learned valuable things from them in your profession that you can carry. Pour one out for Robert Wernsman. But there are also teachers that didn't teach you a damn thing in class, but they taught you, stuff about life, like how to be a better man, how to be a better dad, how to treat people, yada, yada, yada. That's what David Culley is. But there is nothing that he's teaching these guys football-wise that is going to be of any value to them a year from now.
No,
he's not teaching you a damn thing about winning. He's not teaching you a damn thing about organization. You might be a better dad because David Culley was your head coach, but there is no process going on that is going to tangibly lead to more football games. Maybe, community service is something they value and like great people. If that's part of the goal, the great people side of things, they might be developing great people in that locker room, but as far as football players and guys that are going to win games,
developing for what?
Nothing is developing right now.
Developing
Nothing.
for win. And the best part of it is more and more people are like this guy and rolling their eyes at some of the things that he does and says. That's keeping the heat off of Easterby a little bit and Nick Caserio a lot. Nick Caserio, like you said, maybe he did it, with smart intentions for himself, but he's not getting a lot of heat for really not having the best of months and a couple of months here. But David Culley is. Well, he's the fall guy. He'll be out of here in a year or two, and then they'll get a reset on their own careers. They'll get a reset with a new coach, Easterby included.
713-572-4610 to get in. John, you're on In the Loop. Go ahead.
Yes, I know you can't always believe, grades and all that, and I like Caserio, but is it true, as far as you know, that Las Vegas offered us a second-round draft choice for Brandon Cooks?
I don't know anything about that.
Look, there were a lot of rumors going on beforehand. I'm sure Brandon Cooks discussions were being made.
If they did, then you probably should have done it. Although Brandon Cooks is a good player, and maybe he's someone that you want moving forward. I don't know anything about a second-round pick.
With Farmers, you could get savings just for becoming a customer. It's a little extra something. So to tell you about it, we're adding a little extra something to this ad. Precious baby giggles. When you switch to Farmers, you could save an average of $437 on your home insurance. And that's a whole lot of something, baby. Aw, get a quote at farmers.com.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Based on average nationwide annual savings survey data July 2020 to 21, underwritten by Farmers Truck or Fire Insurance Exchanges or affiliate. Products not available in every state.
New this week on Curiosity Stream, it's the larger-than-life NFL icon Joe Namath, who took the league by storm.
Broadway Joe. Sports Illustrated had me standing on Broadway in the jet uniform.
In Beyond the Spotlight. And underground tunnels, brilliant disguises, and air balloons? See daring breakouts from behind the Berlin Wall with never-before-seen archival footage in the Great Berlin Escapes. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are just $20. Visit curiositystream.com.
In 1987, a former prosecutor named Margaret Kuhn took her dog for a walk in one of Louisiana's safest and most affluent parishes. The next morning, she was found dead on the side of the road. 34 years later, the crime remains unsolved.
No one is safe.
Listen to Gone South, Season 1, Who Killed Margaret Kuhn? A documentary podcast from C13 Originals. Available on the Odyssey app or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Frank, you're on Reaction Monday. Go ahead, sir.
Top of the head to you fellas. How y'all doing?
Terrific. Terrible, man. Did you watch the game yesterday, sir?
Yes, I did. Let me tell you, I'm a Houston fan, born in Houston, raised in Houston. But I'm going to tell you this here. I want you to think about one thing I'm going to tell you. When the Astros won the World Series, did they get a new owner?
Did they get a new owner?
It wasn't an owner. They had a new owner. Mm-hmm. It wasn't the same owner from the years before. They had got a new owner. Mm-hmm. Now, when the Rockets won back-to-back championship, they had a new owner.
Yeah, they did.
All right? And I'm telling you right now, man, we are not going to win with our football team till we get another owner. Because that owner there don't know what he's doing.
Frank, you're breaking my heart, man. Trying to solve things. Breaking my heart, man.
It's not going to happen.
The job Cal has done since he took over has been the worst over a 4-year stretch that I've ever seen.
The results have been the worst.
Well, with
what
he inherited, and he should be able to look in the mirror and say this. I say this all the time. Mm-hmm. Like with what he inherited, with where it is now, with how wide open the AFC is, with the teams that were kind of heading the same direction as you, like you couldn't try to do a worse job than he's done when it comes to trusting the right people, Bill O'Brien, Jack Easterby, mm-hmm. and maximizing your core, and if you get rid of your core, bringing it back. And it just all goes back to trusting. You trusted Bill O'Brien mm-hmm. when it was very clear. You know, we hear this every once in a while, and it's always the hipster-ass dude that wants to, like, be the contrarian and say, why are you talking about Jack Easterby so much? Why are you talking about Jack Easterby so much? Well, guess what? Yeah. It's the same damn thing they were saying 4 years ago when we were talking about Bill O'Brien. And you know what? He ran this thing into the wall. So that's why it happens, and it's frustrating to look at where this team was in 2018, coming off an 11-5 season. The fact they ran off Brian Gaine, the fact they traded all their draft picks, the fact you have all these young players in the AFC South, Jeffrey Simmons becoming one of the best players in the game, Jonathan Taylor doing his thing in Indianapolis. The Jags beat the effing Bills. Josh Allen looked like the second best Josh Allen on the field, and I got this crap, and I'm getting fed culture at 1-8. And I can't even watch guys and say, you know what? When they get good, this guy's going to be a part of things. Frustrating.
One decision.
Frustrating.
One decision. He picked Jack Easterby over Brian Gaine. From that moment, every decision he's tried to make to fix things, if he has, every decision he's given Jack Easterby, everything about this organization has gone in the wrong direction. Had he just said no, Bill, we're sticking with Brian Gaine, and you do what he says. Even if you still had Brian Gaine, but there was no Jack Easterby in sight.
Yeah.
Even if you still Bill O'Brien, I mean,
yeah.
even if you still had Bill O'Brien, this team more than likely would not have gotten rid of DeAndre Hopkins. J.J. Watt might still be here. Will Fuller might still be here.
You wouldn't have traded all those draft picks for
Watson
Tunsil. I can promise you ain't trading all those draft picks for Tunsil.
You would have had a lot more draft picks, younger players. You would probably be, we'll never know, but
you'd be in the mix.
You'd be right up there with Tennessee, Buffalo, Kansas City.
You'd be in the mix
right now.
You'd be in the mix.
One decision.
And look at what O'Brien was pissed about.
And I'm not saying, but just real quick.
You didn't pay Tyrann Mathieu. How does Kansas City like the Honey Boo Boo right now?
Right. Yeah, I'm not saying Brian Gaine was the greatest general manager ever.
He had a bad draft, but still.
Even if you just made that one decision differently.
But what did he do? What did Brian Gaine do that pissed off B.O.B. so bad? And Jack Easterby took advantage of it and fired Bill O'Brien up and then went and told to Cal McNair, and then they ran off Brian Gaine. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
They'll deny it, but that's my opinion. Context clues.
Yeah.
Strong context clues. But even if you did that, what did Brian Gaine want to do? He wanted to keep that core somewhat intact. He wanted to keep salary cap space. They had like top 3 salary cap space. And he wanted to keep draft equity and maximize that. Look where you would be right now. That's where you are, though.
Yeah. And just as a point of order here, Nick Caserio is going to be joining Sean and Seth again tomorrow morning.
Oh, wow.
Tomorrow
Good for
morning
him.
at 7:30.
Good for him.
In general, right?
Please do not mention PayPal or Dell, please. By the way, do you think Dell or PayPal would have David Johnson as their effing running back? Like, I'm serious. Do you honestly, if we're gonna sit here and we're gonna talk about Michael Dell, and we're gonna sit here, we're gonna talk about effing PayPal, and we're gonna sit here and try to sound smart, like I'm some Silicon Valley hipster drinking a damn latte in the middle of nowhere with my beanie and mask on. Do you think David effing Johnson and Rex Burkhead would be the running backs at Dell and Pinterest? 713-572-4610.
Or even
Let
if
me
you
know,
asked
Caserio.
No, even if you ask Michael Dell.
Would Michael Dell have had David Johnson and Rex Burkhead as his effing running backs?
Yeah.
Think you sound so smart with these Dell things, Caserio. Good God.
Oh, my gosh.
Malik Collins, good player.
Real good player.
Interception yesterday, sack. He looks great. Malik, here's a bulletproof vest of blame. This is the blame bulletproof vest I'm going to hand you. Put this on before you speak next time, because there's a lot of people to be upset about. Malik, don't ever take the blame again. Seriously.
Got to get more turnovers. Got to get offense more opportunities to score. I mean, it's frustrating, but, I mean, that's the way the game goes sometimes. Sometimes you got to score on defense. Nothing against our offense or anything like that, but just sometimes maybe we could have did more.
Got David Johnson.
More than 5 turnovers.
Talking about Dell.
More than 5 turnovers. Well, 4 on defense, 1 on special teams, which is basically defense. You got to get, 8? Would 8 have done the trick?
Come on, Malik.
Would 8 have?
Malik, don't take the blame.
I give him a lot of credit.
That's the way the game goes.
Yeah, I give him a lot of credit for just sort of saying, I guess we got to do more.
Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Come on, Malik.
Yes, we got to do more.
He balling out.
5 wasn't enough.
He did his thing.
Yeah.
Dusty Baker back in 2022. Carlos Correa, I won't even say what the offer was, because it pretty much wasn't an offer. Looks like he gone.
I want 8 or 10 years. Well, we'll give you 5.
Oh.
That's what he said.
Tigers, by the way, according to Sportsline.com, they're the favorite to get Correa. So Correa and Hinch
I predicted it a long time ago, Verlander and Correa.
Yankees not far off, though.
Yeah.
And we know about the Rangers. How about them Cougs, though?
How about them Cougs?
Cougs playing some good ball. Let's give you a chance to get to the game. They're on fire. Caller number 4, 713-572-4610. Caller number 4. You're going to win a 4-pack of tickets to see the Cougs take on Memphis Friday, November 19th at TDECU Stadium. Great game day atmosphere. Great football being played by the Cougs. They're thinking conference championship, and you can be there to witness the final stretch. 713-572-4610. Caller number 4 wins a 4-pack. Coming up, have no fear. Progress with the process is still here. Don't kill the messenger. That's what David Coley told me earlier today. Lay it out for you next.
Hello, I'm Jason Concepcion, former co-host of Binge Mode Ravenclaw with Gryffindor Rising, still repping the Night's Watch despite Season 8, and the host of Crooked Media's new podcast, X-Ray Vision. Every week, my guests and I will take you through the world of comic book movies, fantasy shows, and more. Join us as we deep dive into your favorite franchises, discuss fan theories, and the latest news. Listen now for free on Odyssey, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Farmers Policy Perks are that little extra something you can get when you're a Farmers customer. So to tell you about them, we're adding a little extra something to this ad, smooth saxophone riffs. When you have a Farmers Home Policy with guaranteed replacement cost, if your home gets destroyed, we'll pay to rebuild it regardless of your limits. Dig it. It's a whole lot of something. Get a quote at farmers.com.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Optional coverage not available in every state. Only available with select Farmers-branded policies. Subject to terms and conditions. Underwritten by Farmers Truck or Fire Insurance Exchanges or affiliate.
How long was Neil Armstrong actually on the moon? When did Europe start speaking English? Did Marco Polo really go to China? CuriosityStream is the streaming service for all things history, plus science, wildlife, and more. What's the real story behind the Mona Lisa? We've got that. What caused the collapse of Rome? We know. Where did we find mankind's earliest ancestor? Come find out. From Egypt to Einstein, CuriosityStream is the place for history and more. Visit curiositystream.com and start streaming now.